Thank you. Hey. Yeah, are you ready on anybody? Yeah, come on in. All right. Got somebody live here I'm going to take care of first. Okay, let's see who's all ready to go. See, are you ready for Mr. Salazar? Oop, and you're still muted.
Sorry, Judge, if we could wait, I think we're waiting on Ms. Cedillo.
Okay. And okay, let's see. So Mr. Maverick, you ready on Dicus?
Yes, sir. I believe we're ready.
Okay, and who's your witness going to be?
We have three witnesses. One is Clayton Smystrella. The second is Margaret Ashhorn. And the third is Mary, I think, is it Dobecca?
That's right, Brian.
Okay, thanks. And I think I see all of them on there, Judge.
And let's see, is Margaret, is that Miss Salazar?
Margaret Ashhorn. Is she on here?
Oh, I think I see her up here. As soon as she pops on, then we can get started on this one. And so, Miss Rebecca, are we going to see you or just hear you?
We might just be listening to her, Judge. Oh, there she is.
Yep, she just popped up. Okay, so if I can get Mr. Semestra, Ms. Ashorn, and Ms. Rebecca, each raise your right hands. Do you and each of you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
All right, you may proceed.
I'll start with Clayton. Clayton, can you state your full name and address?
Sure. Clayton Jude Smystrela, 508 Garrity Road, San Antonio, Texas, 78209.
And how are you related to Patricia Dicus?
Nephew.
When did she pass away?
February 18th, 2021.
Where did she pass away?
Sealy, Texas, Austin County.
And she was a resident of Austin County when she passed away?
Yes, that's correct.
And is the document we previously showed to you dated December 23rd, 2020, her last will and testament?
Yes, that's correct.
To your knowledge, did she ever revoke that will?
No, she did not.
Is there a necessity to administer this estate?
Yes, there is.
Were there any children born or adopted after the date of the will?
No.
Was she single when she passed away?
Yes, that's correct.
Did the will name a state agency or charity as a beneficiary?
No.
Are you qualified to serve as the executor?
Yes, I am.
And have you ever been convicted of a felony?
No, I have not.
No. Judge, we believe there's a necessity for the administration of this estate. We ask that Clayton be appointed as an independent executor. And then I can ask the other two witnesses 2 quick questions, Judge.
Okay, you may.
Let's see. Margaret, can you unmute?
Hey, Margie, there's a button in the lower left corner that says if you kind of hover over it, it should say mute, or it also be stop video should be right there. If you hit the mute, it'll unmute you.
I don't even know how to turn my phone on.
Well,
And Brian, while she's working on that, you might you can just visit with Mary.
Right, I'll do Mary. Mary, can you state your full name and address?
Mary Elizabeth Dobecca, 27344 Caroline Way, San Antonio, Texas, 78260.
And were you familiar with the handwriting of Patricia Dicus?
Yes,
And we previously showed to you her last will and testament, and pages 13 and 14 were written in her handwriting. Is that correct?
yes,
And it was dated December 23rd, 2020. As far as you know, was she of sound mind on
Yes.
that day?
yes.
Thank you. I don't have any other questions for Mary, Judge.
All right, is Ms. Ashorn, maybe is Ashorn is a person behind you? Can they show you how to unmute?
Judge, at least it's not the situation where the lawyer that had the face that looked like a cat that was
Right.
answering the questions during the hearing.
Judge, we have her testimony filed in an affidavit. Will that be sufficient?
Let's see if we can get her to
I don't know if y'all have the ability to unmute her on y'all's end.
I can ask her to unmute. I've asked her to unmute. Yes. Someone wants to describe again to Ms. Ashhorn what to look for.
Clayton, are you able to call her on the phone?
Yeah, I think I can. Yeah, I've got her number here. If need be, I can just put her on speakerphone. That may pick it up through my audio.
Oh, that might work.
Let me, I'm gonna mute myself just for a moment.
Judge, can I ask a question of you?
Sure.
While we're waiting on that, my witness, it looks like he's having audio problems. Is there a phone I can tell him to call in? There?
Yes. Call the, give him the number of 979-865-5911. That'll be the switchboard, and just ask to be sent up to the second floor courtroom. But I guess just wait a minute till we can see if we can get Ms. Ashhorn.
All right, thank you, Judge.
All right, we can give this a try. I've got Miss Ashhorn on my mobile phone. Margie, will you
Margie, can
go
you
ahead
hear
and
me?
state your name?
My name is Margaret Ashburn.
All right, Mr. Maverick, go ahead.
Margie, were you familiar with Patricia Dyke's handwriting?
Yes, I am.
And we previously showed you her last will and testament, and pages 13 and 14 were in her handwriting and signed by her. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And on December 23rd, 2020, to the best of your knowledge, Ms. Dykes was of sound mind and over the age of 18.
Yes, she was.
Judge, I don't have any other questions.
All right. Well, and based on the testimony, I admit the will into probate and appoint Mr. Sumastra as the independent executor of the estate. There'll be an inventory that'll be due in 90 days. Mr. Maverick can help you get that put together. And so Mr. Maverick will just need to get an oath. And let me see, was there an order filed?
I believe so, Judge.
Okay, so I'll sign the order and then we just need to get the oath and then they can issue the letters.
Great.
All right, so I sign the order.
Thank you, Judge. Can we be dismissed?
You may. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right. Okay, come on. All right.
¿Tú necesitas?
Oop, let me mute myself.
Now I could unmute that way.
After you ended the
It
task.
looked like.
All right, so Mr. Longoria,
Yes, Judge.
if you're ready, and let me see, and Miss Salazar, which case are you involved with?
She's with us, Judge. She's
Okay.
the heir, the daughter
Okay.
of the decedent.
Okay.
And Wendy is with a witness. And Eric should be calling in.
Okay. And then, so, and I have Miss Cedillo's report on file.
Yes,
Okay.
Judge. And that's what I was going to say. I thought she was going to be here, but I know she said she turned in a report. So,
Yeah, I'll use that.
all right.
Okay, and let's see, is there an order that's been e-filed?
No, Judge, I had sent it to Sylvia and I believe she was signing it and sending it back to me. So,
Okay, well, as soon as I get that, I can sign that.
and
Okay.
Judge, if I may, Esther, the decedent, is in Mexico right now. I hope she's not on a beach somewhere, and I'm not. It may take a couple of days to get her signature, and then to you, maybe about a week or 10 days or so. Is that okay?
Sure.
But we'll work on it.
Okay, I tell you what, you want to have, and what's Eric's last name?
Eric's last name is Neely, Judge, Neelley.
All right, so I guess if you want to get Mr. Neely to call in, and
Okay. He said he could see the proceedings.
yeah, I can't see him.
Okay. Yep, he just texted me. Wendy, are you going to get on video, Wendy?
Hey, can you hear me?
I
Yes.
can hear you.
Okay, I can't get the video to work. But will be audio. I
Okay.
can see you.
We'll just go slow. And who are you going to use Ms. Guerrero to translate?
Esther Salazar, Judge.
Okay.
There's two Esther Salazars, Esther Salazar mom, and then Esther Salazar, who you see on camera, is the decedent's daughter and only heir.
Okay, and is the mom going to testify also?
Yes, Judge.
And so where is she?
She's with Wendy.
I see, okay, good.
Eric, can you hear us? He looks to be unmuted.
Well, why don't we just go ahead and have, you can proceed with Wendy with Esther Salazar, the mother.
Okay, Judge.
All right, so I guess Ms. Guerrero, if you'd ask the Esther Salazar with you to raise her right hand. Does she solemnly swear the testimony she's about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Que se juras que el testimonio que vas a dar es la verdad, solamente la verdad, que te ayude Dios.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, so Mr. Longoria, you may proceed.
Thank you, Judge. Ms. Salazar, could you state your name for the court, please?
Que diga su nombre para la corte.
Esther Salazar,
And what is your address, Ms. Salazar?
Su dirección.
322 Carrousel Lane, Gainesville, Texas, 77418.
And did you know the decedent Jose Juan Salazar?
Y si tú conocías al difunto Salazar.
Yes.
Sí. Yes.
And how did you know him?
¿Y cómo lo conocías?
En México,
In Mexico.
And how long did you know him?
¿Y qué tanto tiempo lo conociste?
casi 20 años.
Almost 20 years.
And at one point you were married to Mr. Salazar, is that correct?
¿A un punto tú estabas casada con el señor Salazar?
Ujú.
A un punto tú estabas casada con el señor Salazar.
Sí.
Yes.
Had he been married prior to your marriage?
¿Y si tú habías estado casada anteriormente, antes del matrimonio con él?
No.
No.
And y'all divorced in 2017, is that correct?
¿Y se divorciaron en el 2017, es correcto?
Correcto.
Correct.
And did Mr. Salazar marry after y'all's divorce?
¿El señor Salazar se casó después del divorcio de ustedes?
No.
No.
Did you and Mr. Salazar have only one child?
¿Tú y el señor Salazar nomás tuvieron un niño?
Sí.
Yes.
And that is your daughter, Esther Salazar, is that correct?
Y esa es tu hija, Esther Salazar.
Correcto.
Correct.
Did Mr. Salazar or you adopt any children?
¿Y si tú y el señor Salazar adoptaron otros niños?
No.
No.
Did any other children come and live in your home?
Otros
Mr.
niños
Salazar.
vinieron a vivir en la casa de ustedes.
No.
No.
Did, and you are aware that Mr. Salazar died on August 7th, 2020, is that correct?
Tú estás, sabes tú que el señor Salazar falleció en la fecha.
Sí.
Yes.
And that was in Conroe, Texas?
Y fue en Conroe.
Yeah.
Yes.
But he did reside in Belleville, Austin County, Texas, is that correct, at the time of his death?
Pero sí vivía en el condado de Austin, en la ciudad de Belleville,
Sí.
antes de morir.
Ujú.
Yes.
To your knowledge, did Mr. Salazar ever discuss having a will?
A tu conocimiento, ¿es el señor Salazar discutió contigo sobre un testamento? No.
Or call. I told him to call in.
Call it here.
And to your knowledge, there's been no administration of his estate. There's been no dealing with his debts or credits, is that correct?
A tu conocimiento no ha habido ninguna. I'm sorry, I
And then-
interrupted you.
An administration of his estate.
Recibió un administrador sobre sus propiedades.
No.
No,
Nothing further for this witness, Judge.
ya no hay más preguntas.
This is probably going to be Mr. Neely calling in, so it's, hello?
Yes, sir. This is Eric Neely.
Okay, good. If you just hold on and we'll get to you in just a second.
Thank you, sir.
That's all I had for Ms. Salazar, Judge.
Okay,
Eso lo tiene para-
so thank you, Ms. Salazar. And do you have the testimony for her, or are you going to get that to her? The proof of death? Or just the written version of her testimony, I mean?
I can do that, Judge.
Están hablando sobre escribir tus declaraciones.
All right, so who's your next witness?
Eric Neely, Judge.
Okay, so Mr. Neely, can you still hear us?
Yes, sir.
All right, if I can get you to raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Longoria, can you hear him okay?
Yes, Judge, I can hear him. Eric, can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, could you state your name and where you reside, please?
Yes, sir. Eric Neely. I live in Burley, Texas.
And what is your address?
8764 FM 529, Belleville, Texas.
All right. And did you know Jose Juan Salazar?
Yes, sir. Very well.
How long did you know Mr. Salazar?
Over 18 years, he worked for me.
And he was a resident of Belleville, Austin County, Texas as well.
Yes, sir.
And are you aware he passed away on August 7th, 2020 in Conroe, Texas?
Yes, sir.
Did you know Mr. Salazar well enough to know that he had previously been married to an Esther Salazar?
Yes, sir.
And did you know him that he was divorced from Miss Salazar?
Yes, sir.
Were you aware if Mr. Salazar had remarried after 2017?
No, he hadn't.
Are you aware of when he was married with Miss Salazar that they had one daughter named Esther Salazar?
Yes.
Are you aware if he had any other children from any other relationship?
No, he didn't have any.
Do you know if he adopted any children?
No, he didn't.
Did he ever talk to you about leaving a will of any kind?
No, he didn't.
And you are aware that Mr. Salazar had a home in Belleville, Texas?
Yes, sir.
I'll pass the witness, Judge.
Okay, you can call your next. And so, thank you, Mr. Neely. Mr. Longoria will probably send you something to get signed, but you're free to go right now.
All righty. Thank you. I'm sorry for the audio problem.
No problem. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Mr. Longoria?
Judge, as far as the airship, that's all I have. As far as the letters of administration, I do have Esther Salazar on the line here.
Okay. Yeah, so based on the testimony, we'll find that Esther Salazar, the daughter, is the sole heir of Mr. Salazar. So you may proceed.
Thank you, Judge. Esther, you're asking for an independent administration of your dad's estate. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And you are aware that he has a home in Belleville, Austin County?
Yes,
And you are aware of the bank accounts, the financial assets that he had in his company. Is that correct?
yes,
As far as debts are concerned, we'll be able to get an inventory together for the court.
okay.
Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And there's been no prior administration of this estate. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And you've never been charged or convicted of a felony?
No, sir.
You're over the age of 21?
Yes,
I'll pass the witness, Judge.
All right. Well, then I'll appoint Esther Salazar, the daughter, as the independent administrator of the estate. And Ms. Salazar, as Mr. Longoria said, there'll be an inventory that'll be due in 90 days. And Mr. Longoria will get you some documents to sign.
okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
And so, Mr. Longoria, you talked to Ms. Cedillo about her fee, and then Ms. Guerrero.
I did not get a number from her, Judge. I did leave a blank in the order and I sent it to her and I did ask her to address it. That was Thursday or Friday. I have not heard back yet this morning. But I'll take care of that. And I did talk to Ms. Salazar about that.
Okay. And Ms. Guerrero is taken care of too?
Yes, Judge.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
All righty. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
Hey, Esther, that's it for now. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. See you, Wendy.
Bye.
Mr. Levine? Got one more live one.
Okay, I'll wait a minute. I got a question for you.
Okay. Okay. You solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, sir. So your name is Jeffrey Scott Ariella, is that correct? Yes, sir. Okay, and Susan Elizabeth Ariella was your wife, is that right? Yes, yes, sir. And you told me she passed away on January 10th, 2021 in Austin County, Texas, when she was 60 years old, is that right? Right. And Ms. Ariella lived in Austin County when she passed away, is that correct? Yes, sir. And you brought me this will, it's called Last Will and Testament of Susan Elizabeth Ariella, and it's dated November 10th, 2019, is that right? Yes, sir. And you told me that was her last will, she never revoked it or changed it in any way, is that right? Yes, sir. And after Ms. Ariella made that will, she didn't have any children born to her or adopted by her? No, sir. And the Ms. Ariella, you told me, was married one time during her lifetime, and that was to you in 1977. Is that correct? Yes, sir. And then you and Ms. Ariella were continuously married until she passed away. Is that right? Yes, sir. And the will named you, Jeffrey Scott Ariella, to serve without bond or other security as the independent executor. Is that correct? Yes, sir. And as far as you know, you're not disqualified from doing that. Is that correct? Right. And you're asking the court to appoint you as the independent executor. Is that right? Yes, sir. And Ms. Ariella, in her will, she didn't leave anything to the state of Texas or any agency of the state of Texas. Is that correct? Yes, sir. And she didn't leave anything to any charitable organization. Is that correct? Right. Okay, she left everything to you, I believe. Is that right? Exactly. Okay. So you're asking that the court admit the will to probate and that you be appointed as the independent executor. Is that correct? Yes, sir. Okay, that's all we have, John.
Then based on your testimony, I admit the will into probate and appoint you as the independent executor of the estate. Okay? So you'll go with Mr. Levine down to the first floor. There'll be a couple things to sign.
Downstairs.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Well, they had one good game. He was really good.
And that was Grinky was just on that day. Yeah.
We'll see you.
All right. Bye-bye. All right. Back to you.
So on the affidavits, yes, I had done one on Neely, and then Sylvia and I, because the mom had obviously been married to him, I was thinking at first, and she spoke only Spanish, to find a different witness. Well, it's difficult with these guys. They don't hang out with other people. They go to work, they go home. So I contacted his neighbor, and she was real nice, and we spoke. But it was kind of like, he kept to himself. He took care of his yard. I'd waved to him, and he lived next to me for 10 years. But no, I don't know him well enough. So Sylvia said, yeah, go ahead and use the mom. And I just hadn't done an affidavit for her yet. So, but I was reading yesterday. It sounded like, maybe I'm reading the old law, or maybe I'm misreading it, but affidavits are supposed to be turned in after the testimony, or they sign it after?
Well, technically, if you're going to follow those books, all that legal bullshit, the way it actually says is that you do affidavits after they give testimony.
Right.
Now,
But when you file your petition, whose affidavit do you use when you file your application?
Well, I think the way you actually do it is you'd file the application, you'd have the hearing, people would give their testimony, and then they do affidavits in support of their testimony. But, we get to use the COVID excuse for everything these days. So, if everything's filed at the same time, I don't give a shit,